So from that volatile Senate hearing to the COVID breakthrough cases now including White House and congressional aides, all while a group of possible super spreaders from Texas camps out in Washington. We've got a lot to sort through with tonight's Bream Team panel. Let's bring in Fox News contributors Leslie Marshall and Jason Chaffetz. Thank you guys for being with us tonight.
Thank you. Hey, Shannon.
Okay, so Kevin highlighted this one gentleman who's the chair of the Texas House Democratic Caucus who's here, and he said, we don't regret coming to D.C. at all. It was very important to protect the freedom to vote that we believe Texas in order to prevent Republicans from passing their anti-voter legislation. So, Jason, the trip has not gone as they planned, but they say they don't regret it at all because it's for that purpose.
The irony of that they fled a vote to abstain from a vote or get away from a vote that was about voting. I mean, they were elected to do their jobs, and the people of Texas are paying them to be on vacation there in Washington, D.C. and spread COVID. I don't think that adds up. I don't think it's going to make a message. And what if the Republicans left Congress and said, hey, we're not going to form a quorum here in D.C. Democrats, you can flounder all you want. And that's not the right answer. Be an adult, go in there, make your case, make the vote, and then you have to live with the consequences. They're a very small minority in Texas, those Democrats are. I think this is all show, no cattle. They got a big hat, but you know what? There's no cattle behind it.
Well, there's been a lot made of the fact that supposedly all of them are reportedly vaccinated, and they've had a number of cases. There are other cases that have spun off from that, the White House, the House Speaker's office. But again, today you heard the House Speaker. She said, well, still get vaccinated, even though apparently her staffer was fully vaccinated who got COVID. She says, wear a mask. So this push for vaccination continues. And yet today, Andy McCarthy writes this piece saying, basically, who was it who undermined the confidence in vaccines? And he points back to during the campaign season with President Biden and Vice President Harris when they were candidates then, casting a lot of aspersions on how the vaccines were coming together. He says this, if the president and Democrats want to understand their vaccine challenge, they might consider stepping away from social media apps and taking a look in the mirror. And Leslie, to that point that the president was speaking about Facebook being to blame, they didn't really like that, and they had a serious pushback to it as well.
And the president, went back on that. It was talking about 12 specific individuals who on Facebook are saying things such as Democrats are trying to put microchips in your arm when vaccinating you, which I think most of us know is completely ridiculous. Look, I like Andy a lot, but I don't agree with him on this. And the reason I don't agree is just in the numbers. We're seeing a lot of people in rural communities. These are areas that voted for the former president, even though the former president has talked about getting vaccinated, got vaccinated himself. There's pushback there. There's also pushback in minority communities, but not because of what the vice president had said at the time about if Trump came out with a vaccine, she wouldn't get it. African Americans are largely distrusting of the government, no matter who is in charge, because of the history with the government and with medical experiments and vaccines and a lack of trust with things like that. The bottom line here is this was politicized during the last administration from where I sit as a Democrat. We had people, including the former president, Donald Trump, poo-pooing masks, made fun of the current president, Joe Biden, when he was running for wearing masks. People out there who made this, about left and right and conservative and liberal, Democrat and Republican. That's not what it is. This is a virus that doesn't care what our political leanings are, doesn't care who our governors are, our congressional members are, if we're in a red or blue state. And I think what we've seen is more clarification, which we've always been told, the vaccine doesn't make you immune to the virus. It just practically guarantees that you're not going to die from it or get very sick from it, which is why the overwhelming majority of people in the hospital right now who have this variant have not been vaccinated.
I would say we cited the doctor, the health official over he may not be a doctor, but he is a health official over in the UK yesterday saying 60% of people in the hospital there were unvaccinated. But that leaves questions about the 40%. What are we to assume from the 40% there? And if I recall last year, there was a lot of politicizing of this issue on left and right. Jason, quick final word to you on where we go from here. There does seem to be a very political split over something that we would hope wouldn't be political.
Well, I don't think it should be political. Don't get your advice from Facebook or some politician, for goodness sake. Just go work with your doctor. It may not work for everybody, and I got respect. And you know what? In America, you get self-determination. My wife and I, we've had the vaccination. but we consulted with our doctor in doing so. So talk to your doctor. Get off Facebook. You don't need to listen to a politician to give you that answer.
Yeah, I think we all would agree big life decisions should not be based on social media and what is posted there. We'll leave it there for tonight.
That we agree
Leslie
on.
and Jason, thank you. Yeah, we can all leave it there on that
you.
agreement. Thanks, guys.